Behind the curtain of great are the myths. Episode 11, Beauty, Surface, and the Politics of Appearance. Beauty occupies a quietly central place in Great Are the Myths. It appears so consistently throughout the novel that it begins to function almost like an invisible language through which the characters interpret the world. Faces, houses, clothes, rooms, landscapes, and even entire social worlds are described and understood through aesthetic perception. Yet beauty in the novel is never merely decorative. It is both a cultural currency and a philosophical problem. The characters live in a society that places enormous value on appearance, glamour, and elegance, and the novel continually asks what it means to move through such a world, especially for a woman like Birdie, whose beauty is frequently remarked upon by others. In one of the later chapters, Birdie begins to notice something unsettling about the attention she receives. People repeatedly tell her she looks radiant. A family acquaintance remarks that she is coming into her bloom, while Mrs. Montgomery gently responds that Birdie has always been that kind of girl. What once might have been taken as a compliment now begins to feel strangely limiting. Birdie realizes that the admiration directed toward her appearance often reduces her to a surface others can interpret as they wish. This moment captures one of the novel's central tensions. Beauty opens doors. It produces fascination, admiration, and opportunity. At the same time, it risks flattening the complexity of the person who possesses it. Birdie gradually becomes aware that others often interpret her beauty as a kind of explanation, as though it accounts for her entire existence. The novel repeatedly explores this dynamic through different characters and social settings. Hollywood, where Birdie briefly works with the designer Mr. Wolf, is perhaps the most obvious environment in which beauty functions as currency. Mr. Wolf himself articulates a philosophy of design that reveals the cultural logic of glamour. When creating interiors, he tells Birdie people do not want truth, they want myth. Rooms must not merely be comfortable or practical, they must inspire aspiration. This philosophy extends beyond design. It describes the social world that Birdie inhabits. In mid-century America, particularly in elite circles and in the orbit of Hollywood, beauty often serves as a symbolic marker of success. Glamour becomes a visual shorthand for achievement, refinement, and desirability. Yet the novel subtly exposes how artificial these visual codes can be. Many of the most elegant spaces in the story are carefully staged environments, houses arranged to signal wealth, parties designed to communicate social belonging, wardrobes curated to project identity. Appearance becomes a form of performance. Birdie understands this performance instinctively. She knows how to dress, how to carry herself, how to move through rooms filled with influential people. Her ability to navigate these spaces is part of what makes her so compelling to others. But she is also aware that the elegance surrounding her often functions as a kind of theater. The contrast between surface and interior life becomes especially visible in the social circles Birdie inhabits. Characters like Tilly appear perfectly composed from the outside, intelligent, stylish, admired. Yet beneath that polished exterior lies emotional complexity and vulnerability that few people perceive. Cornelia recognizes this disparity and warns Birdie that appearances can be deceptive, that beauty and composure often conceal private struggles. In this sense, beauty in the novel becomes a form of camouflage. It allows individuals to move through society without revealing the full depth of their inner lives. The boy's beauty operates differently, but carries similar implications. His physical presence, his voice, charisma, and youthful energy become central to his rise as a cultural figure. Audiences respond to him not only because of his music, but because of the aura that surrounds him. His appearance becomes part of the spectacle of fame. Yet this beauty also contributes to the myth-making process explored elsewhere in the novel. The boy's physical charisma helps transform him into a symbol. Fans project their fantasies onto the image they see, gradually turning a young man from Memphis into a cultural icon. In both Birdie's and the boys' cases, beauty functions as a kind of amplifying force. It intensifies attention and accelerates myth-making, but it also distances the individual from their own image. The person becomes increasingly defined by the way others perceive them. The novel situates these dynamics within a broader cultural context. Mid-20th-century America witnessed the expansion of visual media, photography, cinema, television, on an unprecedented scale. Images circulated rapidly and widely, shaping public imagination in powerful ways. In such an environment, appearance took on new importance. Beauty became not only a personal attribute but a form of social communication. It signaled belonging, aspiration, and desirability. Entire industries emerged around the cultivation and maintenance of appearance, from fashion and cosmetics to interior design and architecture. Birdie moves easily within this aesthetic world. Her taste, intelligence, and sensitivity to atmosphere allow her to appreciate beauty in many forms, yet she never fully confuses surface with essence. Throughout the novel, she remains acutely aware that the most meaningful aspects of life often lie beneath visible appearances. This awareness becomes especially significant as Birdie matures. The more she is admired for her beauty, the more she senses that it cannot define her. Her deepest experiences, love, grief, memory, and imagination, exist beyond the reach of aesthetic judgment. The novel, therefore, treats beauty with a kind of double vision. On one level, it celebrates the pleasures of appearance, elegant houses, beautiful clothes, luminous landscapes, and charismatic figures. These elements contribute to the atmosphere of glamour that defines much of the story's world. On another level, however, the novel quietly questions the authority of surface. It reminds us that appearance can mislead as easily as it can enchant. Beauty may attract attention, but it cannot fully reveal the complexity of the people who possess it. This tension between surface and depth ultimately reflects one of the novel's larger philosophical concerns: the relationship between myth and reality. Just as celebrity transforms individuals into symbols, beauty transforms people into images. In both cases, the visible surface acquires meanings that may only partially correspond to the inner life beneath it. Birdie's journey involves learning to live within this paradox. She does not reject beauty or glamour. They remain part of the world she inhabits. But she gradually recognizes that identity cannot be reduced to appearance. In the end, beauty and great are the myths become something more nuanced than simple attractiveness. It represents the powerful role that surfaces play in shaping social life, while also reminding us that the most important truths about human beings often remain invisible.